such a hard question. So, is Pochettino the right guy for Chelsea?
100% yes. This is the best available candidate Chelsea could have got out of the ones they were looking at. I think that Pochettino fits the profile of the squad they have. If they do trim it down, which is the big if, because that squad is far too big for any coach in modern football to manage.
True.
But for Pochettino, for what he's done at Spurs, which is probably the best reference point of looking at a young group of players, I look at the likes of Mykhailo Mudryk, Noni Manawake, Wesley Fofana, Benoit Badiashile, Trevor Chalobah, Mason Mount. I could go on in terms of Reece James, Ben Chilwell, a lot of young players, hungry ones who I think he could really build around. And this is a guy as well who's now got experience at a madhouse club like PSG, which I think is a great sort of university degree for Chelsea. You know, if you want to get a degree in Chelsea-nomics, you go to PSG, like Thomas Tuchel did. And I think it's the best choice available. It will probably go wrong at some point, but I think as a coach, I think he's the right fit for Chelsea at this moment.
Do you know what? I agree to an extent. Maybe I'm just a pessimist. I think I am a pessimist, to be honest, but can you blame me after the season we've had?
Absolutely.
Exactly. I'm just like, I don't think he can come in and solve all of our issues. I need a manager that will come in, solve all the issues, but then at the same time, maybe I'm sitting in La La Land. Like you've just said, he works well with the young players. We have so many young players as well. Like you said, Madueke, Mudryk, they're all babies. Like they're actually really, really young.
I forgot to mention Enzo Fernandez.
Fernandez, and it's a young squad. Pochettino can manage these young characters, but they're also a squad of superstars. He didn't do that well at PSG managing these superstars, but especially if Todd Bowley does bring Neymar to the bridge. It's probably not going to happen, to be fair, but can he manage the superstars? I guess we're going to have to find out next season.
We will. So, do Arsenal have a mentality problem?
That is such a sticky question. I won't even lie to you. Don't get me wrong. This entire season, right? They have been phenomenal. They've gone above and beyond my expectations of them. I think even any Arsenal fan will probably tell you that they've gone above and beyond their expectations, right? But when they came to the finish line, they crumbled real bad. Losing 3-0 at home to Brighton is a joke. When you are on the cusp of a title and you crumble like that, that is insane to me. And I look at the players, they look dejected. And I look at the fans are leaving the stadium early. And I just look around the entire club. The only person that kind of didn't look so dejected or didn't look like they've lost hope was probably Mikel Arteta. So I look at it as, do Arsenal have a mentality problem? Probably the players, yes. But it's just something that they can probably work on next season. But I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's difficult because there's a lot of kind of trendy words that get thrown around in sort of reference to Arsenal. We've spoken about them before. I do feel that the 3 games that stick out to me in this run-in that Arsenal fans may be having nightmares about over the summer are those 2 away games where they were 2-0 up against Liverpool and West Ham, and then of course conceding 3 goals at home to a now relegated Southampton. It's those moments that I think are going to really be defining if you're looking at this from a negative point of view. But I do want to stress that you can't refer to mentality in the same way you used to with like the Wenger teams, who had a real soft underbelly and actually wouldn't compete for a Premier League title this seriously as Arteta has. Arteta, for all this, I do think is a missed opportunity. He has achieved something this season, what he needed to. He's won the argument in terms of getting Arsenal back into the Champions League, but missing out on the Premier League title is a blow.
Who do you reckon is the league's most underrated manager?
Not just underrated, but I pick my sort of like manager of the season is Marco Silva at Fulham.
What? Okay, sorry. Go on.
I need to explain myself. I think Marco Silva is my manager of the season in the Premier League, and I think it goes into underrated. He has to be in the conversation because everyone expected Fulham to go down at the start of this season. Like everyone thought it was just going to be another season when they were going to be outmatched by everyone. I remember the odds being very heavy at the start of the season, and you wouldn't have won a lot of money for Marco Silva to be the first manager sacked. Fulham haven't just scraped and survived like some other teams have who have more Premier League experience. They have thrived in the Premier League. The signings of Joao Paulinho, Willian has been an inspired signing too. They've got some big wins. They're likely going to finish above Chelsea, which from a West London perspective is massive. And Silva is a big part of that. He deserves so much credit. I think he's been incredible.
You know, you've kind of spun me a little bit because those arguments are absolutely sensational. That actually skipped my mind. Like, that's why I was so shocked to begin with, because I would have gone with Unai Emery, right? Unai Emery, he is a walking meme. The whole goody binning situation, it's not left him since he left Arsenal, right? And he came back into the league. Arsenal fans completely dismissed him. They said, okay, he's come back into league, he's not going to do nothing with Aston Villa. Aston Villa just going to linger in relegation because he's not a good coach, blah blah blah. But he's come from La Liga, and you kind of see and you remember why he was the PSG manager before. You remember how successful he is in Europe, and you see it within this Aston Villa team and where he's taken them. So I'd go for Unai Emery, but you make a good point. I won't lie to you, Daniel.
You're welcome. So, who's joining Southampton in the Championship?
God, it's such a hard question. I really don't want to put anyone down. Like, this is so depressing. But if I had to choose one team, right, it will definitely be Leicester. Just focusing on how they've been playing this entire season. James Maddison has tried his best. That boy looks tired. He has tried his best.
He's been working overtime. He should probably go and strike himself. You know.
He needs to be defender, striker, midfield, everything for that team, right? And I just look at how they've been playing, and I'm just like, I'm not convinced. I just don't see you guys having a comeback. They've still got Newcastle left to play. They've got Liverpool left to play. West Ham on the last game. I just see Leicester definitely dropping down with Southampton. What about you?
Leicester and Leeds are my two. Simply, I just think defensively they're woeful. I think they concede too many goals.
Right.
I think Everton do have a problem with scoring goals, but that incredible win and performance at Brighton recently, I think, was a real telling moment. And I just think for both, I think Leicester have kind of sleepwalked into a relegation battle. I don't think many of them, their fans, maybe their players, didn't expect this. And I wonder what Brendan Rodgers is thinking right now. But those are my two.